D is my 15-year-old nephew from New Jersey. Well, technically, he's my cousin. His grandmother, Carmen, and my mom, Brenda, are sisters. So D calls me Aunt Amina because in our family, when you're cousins but you're older, we call you aunt or uncle out of respect. So even though we're cousins, because of our blood relationship, D is my nephew. I know this for certain. When he was 5, I called him to wish him a happy birthday. I said, "Hey, happy birthday." And he said, "Who is this?" And I said, "It's Aunt Amina." And he said, "Aunt Amina? I haven't heard from you a day in my life." Well, after he checked me for not keeping my responsibility to hold our family relationship together, I started trying to do better. When he was 7, his family flew out to California for a visit. And we took them to Yosemite, and we swam in a pond up there together. And then we also rode the cable cars in San Francisco. When he got on the plane to leave, I started crying. And Dee said, "Don't cry, Aunt Amina. Our hearts are always going to be united, and we will see each other again." Dee amazes me. Listen to this conversation, and he's going to amaze you too. He describes discrimination that he's experienced, including a police officer using excessive force on a good friend of his when he was in the 7th grade. If you are a white ally, please check your Aunt Karen, because Dee describes when he met her, and it's clear from his conversation with me that your aunt has lost her mind. Listen, learn, comment, and amplify this conversation.
Hey, Aunt Amina.
Hi.
How's your day going?
My day's going wonderful. I can hear you really good. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You got beats on your head?
Yeah, I have to come, with it. All right, so what I'm doing, I'm putting together a podcast. Mm-hmm. And it's basically I'm calling it UnHidden Voices, and it's really just listening to people who most people don't they don't hear our stories because, we're not, because we're just like everyday folks. Mm-hmm. So I have some questions for you. You ready?
Yes.
What grade are you in?
I'm a freshman.
Can you describe your high school for us?
It's really boring. The teachers are very racist there. Yeah, they're real racist.
Oh my. Okay, so we're gonna get into that because I was gonna ask you about being discriminated. Like, were you ever discriminated against at school? And can you describe?
Not me. It's just like they're just real rude towards me and stuff, and it's real obvious where you can see.
So, can you give an example of something they've done that you thought was rude?
In gym class, they always separate the groups, the black people in one section and then the white people in one section. And it's just rude. And it's that's just not fair.
Yeah.
Believe you. Wow. And I think that's just real, exactly. It's just real racist.
Yeah. And did they ever tell you why they're doing that?
No.
They just put you guys in
different. They never do us, all the time.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think that's right at all.
Can you tell me about a teacher or somebody, it could be a counselor, educator, somebody that has had a real impact on you? And,
I gotta think about this one. Probably my Spanish teacher. She's really nice and she always helps me with my work stuff. And one time I was failing a class, and then I stayed after school to get extra help, and she was there to help me out.
That's awesome. So so you can speak Spanish now?
Just a little bit. I'm not fluent. I'm not there
So
yet.
can I do this interview in Spanish? And
No, no. No. I could probably say a couple words, but that's it.
okay. All right. So tell me how COVID-19, like coronavirus, how's that impacted your life?
In a bad way, because people are dying from it, but it impacted me because I can't see my friends. Like, I feel like my summer is really ruined because of the situation going on.
Yeah. So how long have you been sheltering in place?
Well, I was just out today. I was at my friend's house.
Oh,
I really,
what?
I really, I really haven't been sheltering in place, but like I'll probably go there and then I'll go to work, come home and just relax.
Oh, so you're still working.
Oh
And
yes, I'm still working.
so
I
what do
work
you work?
tomorrow actually. What'd you say?
Where do you work?
I work at McDonald's.
Oh, okay. So then you still go to work, like you work, how many hours a week do you work?
It depends really. 5, 6, 7, 7
And
to 3, stuff like that.
do you wear a mask at work and gloves?
All the time. Yes. All
Yeah.
the time.
And what about when you visit your friends? Do you socially distance?
No, I do not.
So
It's
you
not
guys
me, but I don't.
okay, so let me ask this question. And this isn't on my list, but I just thought about it because you know how they say that people that are your age wouldn't really show symptoms of being sick, but you could get
Yes.
like your parents sick. So
Yeah.
do you worry about that?
I mean, I do sometimes, but then I don't because like I'll be at my friend's house and I won't wear a mask, and then I come back home, so I know that's not really good.
Do you wash your hands like 20 every like
Oh yes,
20 seconds a
of
time?
course,
All
all
the
the time.
time? Okay.
Yeah, I try
That's
to stay
good.
clean. Yes,
Good. You have
yes.
good hygiene. And you always keep your room clean too. I noticed that too.
Yeah, sometimes it's only on a good day, not really. Well, right now it's clean.
Yeah, that's what's up. Like, because you knew you was gonna be interviewed.
I just got lucky.
All right. Describe how COVID-19 has impacted your family.
Um, my mom is at work at the house all the time, and then Deja's home because Deja goes to college in Baltimore, but you home because of situation. And Naya really, it didn't really affect her because like he does the same thing every day. She goes to work, come home, goes to work. And then my dad, on the other hand, his hours extended from work. He actually works longer now. He goes into work around 1, then he gets home around like 11, 12ish. So
Got
that
it.
affected him mostly. It changes hours around for work and stuff.
Um, let's see.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to switch gears a little bit to talk about racism. And you talked a little bit about it, like in your school, but can you share an experience of racism or discrimination that you feel you personally experienced?
Um, One time I was with my friends. It was me, Quadre, and this white kid. His name was Nick. And I was walking down the street, and then he kicked the lady's fence, and then the lady called me and Quadri the N word, and she was cursing at us and all.
Mm.
And I just kept walking because I didn't want no trouble. But then, mind you, she comes out our house, hops in her car, and starts following us. So, yeah,
What?
I know it got crazy. So then, me and my friend are running and running, and she's still driving. So then, eventually, we lose her, and then we're walking back to my house, and then out of nowhere, she comes driving, and then she stopped the car. She's still saying all these bad words. Oh, F,
Mm.
you little N, this and that. And me and my friends are just running. So then
Mm.
she hops out the car again and it comes at my friend's face. Mind you, he's walking now. Then he continues to run to his house. So then she hops back in her car and then she like turned the wheel and then almost hit me and my friends. And then
What?
I know. And then after that, I walked into his house and then I told his parents and stuff what happened. And then they came outside and then the cops came and then they asked us questions about what happened. And then I told them what happened. So mind you, the lady's still outside, and then the cops go outside, and she hops in her car, cuts the wheel, and just speeds right off.
Even though she tried to like run you guys over.
Yes.
The cops didn't do anything? The
No.
police didn't do anything?
I mean, but then after that, I just left it at that. After that, I never knew what happened.
How old were you?
This happened last year. I was 14, summertime.
Wow. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
And I'll never forget that, because I was just in shock, because like she was like, you and this and that, and like I heard that from like a white person, and someone like called me that to my face, and I was like that's just unbelievable.
So was that the first time or the only time you had ever been called an N-word in your, from like somebody that was like, I know people, like young people say it for like fun, like black people.
Yeah, but other than
like,
that,
somebody that was, yes, okay.
Yeah, that's like the only time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, that's making me mad.
I was in shock too. I was like, oh my God.
God.
I was like, did you just say that?
I can't believe
like,
this.
That's crazy.
Oh, this is making me so upset. I'm sorry you went through that.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, okay. How do you think racism impacts your family?
That's a good question. Racism impacts my family. Dang, that's I gotta think about this one. I mean, sometimes sometimes my family, we're like singled out at the grocery store. If like, so like, say like if a white person is walking and then like they'll just like be rude and just to you and not say nothing to you and walking. I feel like that's rude, and sometimes like that just has hatred just because of the color of our skin.
Yeah.
And I feel like that impacts us a lot, because like because a person can just hate you just because you're black.
Yeah.
Like that's just not right.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's definitely wrong.
How do you deal with it? Like, how do you deal with racism?
I mean, it makes me mad sometimes, because I just think like it's not right how they treat us. Like it's just wrong. What they do to us, all that. What the cops do to us, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I have a whole section on that.
It's crazy. They just like don't have feelings for us. They just think like we're just like nothing to them.
Well, have your parents had like the talk to you? Like, have they talked to you about how to like act around the police and how to dress and stuff like that?
They said just always listen and stay calm to them, and don't like then just put your hands on the dashboard, stay calm and listen to them. And I know that's the high route to go to.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to lose my life over something unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, so what was it like when the first time that you saw or learned about like police brutality? Do you remember that?
I was just in shock, because like they would just shoot us in the street and not care, and they wouldn't get in trouble for it. And I was just like that's crazy. How could somebody just do that to another human being and not get in trouble for it, or they'll even get a tiny slap on the wrist, but they still have their job and all that.
Yeah.
And that's just wrong.
It is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. Have you? Well, I know you mentioned like this situation where the police kind of ignored you when this white woman tried to run you over, but have you had other interactions with the police? And
other than that, no, I have not. Haven't. No.
Do you remember the first time that you saw or experienced a black person being mistreated by the police?
Oh yes, I was in 7th grade, and it was actually my friend Quadri, and then he got into a fight with this white person. So then the officer comes, he grabs him, then he puts him against the wall, he puts him in handcuffs and walks him out the school in front in front of the whole entire cafeteria. And mind
Oh my God.
and he was embarrassed, of course. Mind you, everybody's laughing. Oh, he's getting locked up, this and that, and the officer, he used a lot of force on him. He put him against the wall and put him in handcuffs. That was
Oh my God.
exactly. He could have just walked him out properly and just told him, "Oh, just come with me." But he didn't have to put him in handcuffs. And mind you, it's in front of the cafeteria. There's students in there too. And I was like, how can you just do that? Like, that's just unbelievable.
So
And
you
like
talked.
handcuffs too. And then on top of that, he used excessive force on what, a 14-year-old kid, and you're like 20.
Wow. And did you talk to your friend after that about, did they take him downtown or they just took him out the cafeteria and let him?
No, they actually took him down the station, and then his mom picked him up from there.
Wow. That's horrible.
Because and then of course the white kid, he was just standing there like nothing happened. He didn't get in trouble. He sat back down and kept eating his lunch.
Oh my God.
And I was like, how can you just do that? Like, that's just it's just mind blowing. I just don't understand.
I don't
It's just
either.
unbelievable.
Have you ever protested against police violence?
Oh yes, I protested last week.
And so can you talk about it? Like, what did you do?
We walked. It was a long walk, and we walked, and then we walked to the police station down the street, and then we sat there for 8 minutes and 46 seconds on the ground for George Floyd, and then we honored him. And then after that, we got back up and we kept walking, and then we went near the grocery store, and the cops were there, and then we asked the cops to take a nail with us for George Floyd, and some of them wouldn't. And then that's when it kind of got hectic, and people were like, "Oh, f the cops, this and that," and he stood down with us, but the rest of them, they just looked at us like we were crazy.
Wow.
And then I was just like, how come you can't sit down and take a meal with us for something that was wrong?
Yeah.
And they just stood there and sat up, and they didn't kneel. It was only I think 2 cops took a kneel. That's it. And then the rest just stood around.
So why did you decide to protest?
Because I feel that us Black people have to get recognized, and what police and white people are attacking us in the streets, shooting us down, and they're only getting a slap on the wrist. Like cops who were convicted, I think a couple of days ago, they stepped. The one officer stepped on George Floyd's neck and just let him sit there and just die, and he didn't feel no remorse whatsoever. And I think us Black people are just tired of getting harassed every day and not doing nothing about it.
That's right.
This has been going on for years, and I feel like it's time to take a stand for what's right.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to switch gears a little bit because you talked a little bit about police brutality, and now I'm going to focus on your family. So, share a memory of your family that means a lot to you and explain why that memory stands out for you.
Okay, let me think about something. Okay, one time me and my family went on vacation at the Poconos, and I had a great time, and then I felt like everything was just right, and everything was perfect, and like we were all just connected and laughing, and we all enjoyed ourselves. And I felt like that was just really deep, because like we all just connected.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And then on top of that, it was really fun too. We actually went ziplining. So, yes, I went ziplining a couple times.
That's awesome.
The first time, and I was like, I don't know. Then I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I was a little.
Are you normally scared of heights or no?
Oh, I'm afraid of heights. Yes, I don't like being high up.
Me either.
It's hilarious. I don't like it at all.
How would you describe your family to other people?
They're very outgoing. They're very loud. And they're funny and just real respectful towards other people and very welcoming.
Yeah.
And I feel like I like that about my family.
Yeah, absolutely. I do too.
Yes.
So what role do you play in the family, and why do you think you play that role? And how can you provide examples of how you play it?
Like I'm the big brother for my sisters because I feel like I just protect them all the time and make sure that they're good. And like I feel like that's just my role. Even though that they're older than me, I still watch after them, make sure that they're good and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that
So
just plays a big. Go ahead. What you about to say?
I was going to say, can you provide an example of that, like how you look out for them?
I mean, one time this guy he tried talking to Anaya at work and like I shut it down because you're not about to just talk to her and like that's just weird at work too. And I told him just back up and just keep it pushing. There was no point to talk to her anyway. If she's working, why do you want to speak to her?
Yeah, that's
And
real.
that's just unnecessary.
Yeah. What role does family play in your life and why?
It plays a big role in my life because I love my family and I feel like I'm just really always there. I feel like I'm just really always there for them and they're always there for me and they always support me, have my back and stuff. And I feel like that's a big part of my life and especially support.
Yeah.
Sports and all that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just good to just have that backup with you.
Who do you think taught you to value your family, and how did they teach you that?
I feel like both. It was my mom and dad. They taught me at a young age to always respect people, and that your family always has your back, and they always have the best interest for you, no matter what.
Yeah. How would you like if you had a say in how the family remembered you, how would you want them to remember you?
As me laughing and always smiling and having a nice spirit to be around too. I feel like that's how I like to be remembered.
Yeah. All right. Who in the family has been your biggest teacher and why? And then share something that they taught you that you will never forget.
My dad, he's definitely been my biggest teacher. He helped me through a lot, stuff like that. And one thing I always remember is when he was talking to me about school and he told me to push myself and never give up and always try my hardest. And I feel like I'll just always carry that with me and to always just succeed in life and never fail.
Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, this is the last question. What do
You're
you
fine.
want? What do you want everyone to know about what it means to be a part of a Black family in America?
That we are very loving and it's strong to be Black.
Yeah.
And good.
Yeah.
And like nothing can just break us, and we're always just connected.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's just a good to be a part of a family like that.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel special.
Yeah. Warm, fuzzy feeling.
That's funny.
Thank you,
No,
Dougie. Thank you so much.
no problem. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm putting this
I
together.
enjoyed it.
I'm glad. You're
It
awesome.
was fun. I liked it. It was fun. It was
Yes.
a nice experience. Appreciate it.
I love you. All right.
Love you too.